In this video, you are going to learn to add linear expressions using this example on the screen. So in looking at this example, we are going to add what we have in this first parentheses with what we have in the second parentheses. But before we can begin adding, we need to remove the parentheses. We cannot add as it is. In order to remove the parentheses, we need to use what we call the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. If you look in front of the parentheses here, we don't have a number. Normally, if there's a number, you will distribute it with each term inside. However, there's what we call an invisible one. So to get rid of these parentheses, when you don't have a number, you don't see a visible number, put a 1 in front, right? Then use that 1 to distribute to each term inside the parentheses to get rid of the parentheses. The 1 will not change the value of the expression. So we are going to have 1 times 8.3x, which is equals to 8.3x. Positive 1 times positive 16 is going to be positive 16. So if you notice, what we have there in the parentheses is the same thing as what we have after we remove the parentheses. Also, we need to get rid of this parentheses here, the second parentheses. So again, there's always an invisible one there. So I'm going to write a 1 to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So it's going to be 1 times the first term, and it's going to be positive 1 times the second term. So it is 1 times 7.6x, which is going to be positive 7.6x, and positive 1 times minus 9, which is going to be minus 9. Now that we have gotten rid of the parentheses, we can go ahead and add our terms. But before you add the terms, we are going to identify if we have any like terms, because you can only add or subtract when the terms are the same. So I am going to use shapes to identify my like terms. So we have two sets of like term here. We have variable like terms and we have constant like terms. So I'm going to start with my variable terms. I'm going to put a shape circle around my variable term. I have 8.3x there, and also I have another variable here, term here. Both of them have the same variable. Once I identify those terms, I'm going to rewrite back the expression by writing those terms beside each other. It's going to be 8.3x. And one thing to note, when you identify your like terms by putting shapes around the like terms, make sure you put the shape around the sign in front of the number. So when you rewrite your expression, you know what signs you are using to separate the terms. So it's going to be 8.3x plus 7.6x. I'm going to use a different color and also a different shape to identify my constant term. So I'm going to use a rectangle here. And as you notice, I put the rectangle around the sign that is in front of my number or the term. Once I identify, again, I continue with my expression by writing the like terms beside each other. Once I am done writing my like terms beside each other, I can go ahead and add or subtract, and that is dependent on what you're given in the expression. So it's going to be 8.3x plus 7.6x. This is going to give us 15.9x. And then I'm going to subtract there because I have a subtraction sign. So it's positive 16 minus 9 is going to be positive 7. And this is my solution when I add this linear expression. So my answer is 15.9x plus 7. And as you notice, we have two terms in our solution, but the two terms are different. Therefore, we cannot combine them. It is in the simplest form. There's nothing else we can do with this expression. We leave it as is. So again, our answer is 15.9x plus 7. So once you're adding an expression, linear expression, and you try to get rid of the parentheses first before you can combine the terms. And as I said before, if you don't see a number in front of the parentheses to distribute, always put a 1 and use that 1 to distribute so you can get rid of the parentheses, combine your like terms, and add or subtract.